Welcome once again to A History of Caged Violence, the web series that shines a light on the dark days of MMA. So far, we've been your one-stop shop for UFC news that's 25 years old, but there's a whole other avenue of MMA-related shenanigans that I don't want to pass up on when talking about where the sport was versus where it is now. I'm talking about the times movie producers tried to cash in on the sport as its popularity grew and the mainstream audiences started taking notice. And let's get this out of the way up front. This has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that the UFC keeps taking these videos down. That's for sure. Back in 2008, the market was untapped. Pun intended. Enter Never Back Down. A straight-to-DVD offering that was half teen romance story, half adrenaline-filled beat-em-up, half come-from-behind hero tale, and full unrealistic nonsense. Just like UFC 1. We start on a rainy Friday night under the lights where we're given an orgy of evidence that our protagonist, Jake Tyler, is one hell of a football player. Hey, I thought this was an MMA movie. Jake's in on every play. He's middle linebacker, but he plays the game like he's the queen on the chessboard. But what he isn't is much of a team player, as he starts a brawl and knocks the brain loose of everyone who comes within 5 yards of him. In the locker room after the game, we find out he's about to move to Florida. Is it football related? Nope. Tennis related. His younger brother, who looks like he's never even heard of Wimbledon, explains how he's going to win it one day. We also get a bit of an explanation of why Jake's so brooding. Their dad recently died. He puts his old shirt in a box and labels it useless junk. Oh geez, it sure is boring and not exciting at all to be moving from Iowa to Florida. Jake arrives at his new high school mid-year. I'm sure the football coach will want to know a star player has just been dropped in his lap. Either that or football will never be mentioned again at all. Let's wait and see. After eating his lunch all by himself, Jake comes across a group of guys, two of whom are beating the tar out of each other on school grounds. He decides to stop the fight because I guess Jake now hates fighting, or because that's what the script calls for. Either way, they tell him not to worry about it and to buzz off and go to class, which he does. He then wastes little time showing everyone how smart he is by answering questions on the first day. Something even he admits to his love interest, Baja, was a dipshit move. She acts very interested in the new guy. One of her friends calls him Kurt Cobain for his shirt choice. The other one comes on to him, and they're off. Jake soon meets Max Cooperman. He's the edgy stoner type who doesn't know boundaries. He's seen the video of Jake dummying an entire offensive line. How, you ask?
Internet, dude. One guy shoots it, the whole world sees it.
Max tells Jake he should train with him. He goes to a gym where he gets his ass handed to him daily, and that fight he stumbled upon the other day,
that was completely organized. A totally sanctioned brawl.
He then shows him handycam video of their training, and Jake tells him,
I appreciate it and all. I'm not interested.
Now granted, if we're talking about plot holes, this movie is Swiss cheese. But still, this is one of the biggest. The only thing we know about Jake is that he loves to hit people in a variety of fashions. Yet when he's told about a fighting gym he should train at, hell, an underground fighting circuit, he's not interested. Why the hell aren't you, Jake?
You are a natural-born brawler.
I'm just not into it, man.
Yes, you are. Perhaps he'll change his mind now that everyone in school is looking at him like he's hot shit. Nothing gets teenage girls going quite like seeing a potential dangerous offender inflicting severe harm on others. The video makes the rounds somehow in 2008, and soon he's being invited to a party by the girl he spoke to for 15 seconds once. A quick MapQuest search, press print, and he's on his way to a party that is excessive even by high school movie standards. This house is a mansion. People are dancing and girls are making out. This is where our hero gets to meet the movie's villain, Ryan. It's his party and he shows Jake around. Clearly he isn't afraid of things getting out of control on his property, nor is he afraid of tiptoeing around racial issues.
A little black on brown.
Aha, it turns out it was all a clever ruse and Jake's dream girl was in on the whole thing. She's dating Ryan and only invited him so he could get his face bashed in by her BF. The reigning champ wanted to launch some shots at the linebacker, and even though Jake tells him he's not fighting, because in this scene, Jake doesn't like fighting anymore, I guess, Ryan doesn't take that for an answer and proceeds to insinuate it's all Jake's fault that his father died. And like any typical high school crowd, everyone is not only cool with the dead dad roast jokes, they also love to see their party host commit aggravated battery on a totally unwilling participant.
You ain't got shit!
I don't know, Jake, maybe don't? He gets creamed because he doesn't know the art of mixed martial arts. And as Ryan puts it, that old school boxing shit just doesn't fly around here. Gee, I sure hate waking up the day after a massive raging party where I received repeated concussion-inducing blows to the head. Jake takes the day off while the rest of the school continues to act like nothing happened because they are all sociopaths. Now that he's been in town for 3 days and brutally assaulted for his classmates' entertainment, Jake decides maybe that UFC stuff isn't so bad after all, and starts training. Still, he dips in and out from being humble to an arrogant ass, basically whenever it fits the script's purpose.
Never back down!
He's advised never to fight outside of the gym. I guess Max hasn't been given the same rules. Baja then shows up to explain she didn't know that her boyfriend was a psychotic monster, and that she's sorry. She also interestingly points out the bad script writing.
You wanted that fight. Just didn't want to lose it.
He tells Baja bye-bye and gets back to the gym. After a few montages to the most 2008 music in history, Jake learns how to be a well-rounded mixed martial artist instead of an arrogant ass. Oh wait, he does completely go apeshit on a group of guys in a Hummer who honk at them when they're holding up traffic. But other than that, and this,
At least I have a home.
Jake becomes a better man by becoming a better fighter and learning literally nothing else. But when Ryan attacks him in a bathroom, he learns about the beatdown, a fight tournament he's won twice before and where the champ tells him their rivalry will end.
Enjoy the floor.
Unfortunately, unmercilessly beating a group of guys in traffic cost Jake his gym membership at the worst time, as Max couldn't help himself and made him a YouTube sensation all over again. But a grocery store apology later and we have ourselves another montage. Then a coffee shop apology to Baja and she's putty in his hand wraps. But when Max gets the deets on the beatdown, he goes into full get Jake banned from the gym mode once again. Jake continues to change his mind about fighting every 30 seconds and resists, telling Max they should hang out with girls. We then get my favorite line of the whole film.
You play Xbox a lot?
Meanwhile, there's apparently a music video being shot at Ryan's palatial estate. His dad goes from offering margaritas to underage kids straight into threatening his son and telling him to take out the best. But when Ryan finds out Jake won't be in the beatdown, and some random claims he'd get his ass kicked if he was, he decides to beat Max half to death to get Jake's attention, and guess what? It works. Jake goes to steal Max's car and Roca tells Jake to let the violent, unprovoked assault go. But he doesn't want to do that, so off to the beatdown it is. Just when you think they're at a dance club, it's announced that it's time for the beatdown and the place is transformed. What I want to know is how long is this thing going to take? They've got 32 fighters, and they're giving some of them over-the-top entrances. The two main characters successfully fight their way through the job squad, including that Capoeira versus Superman punch that people thought was real way back when the internet was a place you thought you could trust. While Jake heads to the back to get some ice and probably piss blood, Ryan struggles to finish his opponent who is clearly not defending himself, so he does his best John Jones and gets disqualified. Jake has no interest in continuing if Ryan's out, so he hobbles away, and even when he's confronted by the one guy he came to fight, he still turns tail. But Ryan isn't about to let him just leave, so they start holding the real main event in the parking lot, and luckily, no law enforcement officials exist anywhere to spoil the party. They clobber each other as a crowd forms. It goes on for some time. Highlights include Jake taking minimal damage when Ryan powerbombs him on concrete, which I'm pretty sure would count as attempted murder, Baja looking like this when Jake starts making a comeback, and Ryan seemingly going feral. And can you guess what happens next? Yep, another montage. So cue our hero coming from behind, thanks to the skills he learned and was expressly told not to ever use. Max watches on his flip phone from a hospital bed in real time, and in the next scene is 100% recovered, despite Ryan still looking like he said no to another one of his dad's margaritas. There's then this moment when Jake and Ryan nod to each other, as if they've completely resolved a slight difference of opinions between friends, rather than brutally injured one another and others for no reason other than to satisfy their own out-of-control egos. Rocha packs up his gym after a job well done, and we go to the credits. Never Back Down is pretty unrealistic, even as far as straight-to-DVD movies about fighting from the late 2000s go. Boy likes girl, other boy has girl, other boy beats up boy, girl hates other boy and likes new boy, boy beats up girl, boy beats up other boy. With so many dynamic characters, it's really hard to keep it all straight. I can't say you're missing out if you don't bother to watch this near 2-hour clown car, but it's pretty fun in what I believe is a very unintentional way. But as we start to head down this road, you'll come to see that there's no shortage of this basic exact plotline throughout the pantheon of MMA-inspired movies. As always, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you back here for the next edition of A History of Caged Violence. All the best.